Hi, good evening everyone, and welcome to this month's Global Markets Monthly Webinar. My name is Darrin, and tonight we have a very special webinar lined up for you. For those of you who are in the know, Poems now has the capability to allow you to trade the US markets from 9 a.m. In addition to our US pre-market trading, as well as our regular trading hours, this means you, as our client, can now trade for 19 hours seamlessly between them, 5 days a week as long as US markets are open. So for tonight's monthly webinar, we want to show you how you can take advantage of this new function, the US Asia hours, and maximize your earnings. Additionally, we'll be going through some key concepts and requirements before our live technical analysis session, as well as a Q&A session. So kindly input your questions in the Q&A section below. So without further delay, I'll pass the time over to Ziquan. Ziquan, please continue. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, hi, good evening everyone. I'm Ziquan from the Global Markets Department. So I'll be going through the US Asian hours, and after which my team members, Ying and Darrin, will go through the technical analysis. Here is the content for US Asian hours. First, I'll be doing an introduction on the US Asian hours, the trading requirements, the pre-trading requirements, like the forms you have to fill before you can trade US Asian hours, the benefits of using US Asian hours, the points to consider, and lastly, any questions or answers that you guys may have. Okay, so this is a brief overview of US Asian hours. So we are proud to say that we are the first brokerage firm in Singapore to offer US market trading during Asian hours. So that is Singapore time 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So with this capability, our Poems customers will be able to have a first mover advantage as compared to other investors. So as of the first launch, we have 36 US equities with 2 ETFs, and they are only available on Poems 2 web and the Poems 3 app. Yep, so the minimum trade size is $5,000 US. So any amount that's lower than that will be rejected. So more information can be found on our landing page here. Yeah. Okay, so now I'll be going through the specifics of the US Asian hours. So before the launch of this US Asian hours, our clients were only able to trade from 4 p.m. all the way to 4 a.m. Now with this launch, clients will be able to trade from 9 a.m. all the way to 4 a.m. So if you were to trade from 9 a.m. all the way to 4, you only have 5 hours of sleep left. Yeah, so the platforms like I mentioned earlier are Poems 2, which is the web, not Poems 2 app, Poems 3 app, and the minimum order size is 5K, and only market orders are allowed. So no limit orders, only market orders. The settlement follows the same as follows the US regular hours and the pre-market sessions. And next is the list of counters. You can see we have 38 counters here, 2 ETFs, they are highlighted in green. We have the QQQ and SPY. As for the counters, we have they are from a different variety of sectors. We have the semicon industries like AMD, Micron, and Nvidia. As for tech, we have Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. Commodities, we have Exxon, Freeport-McMoRan, United States Steel, and for leisure, we have Las Vegas Sands and Wynn Resorts. So you can see that this list is actually quite gives investors a huge variety where you can get exposure from different sectors. Then next is one of the important things that our clients are interested in, which is the commission. So currently we are having a promotion for this service, which is a 0.08% with no minimum. So with a minimum trade size of $5,000 US, the fee that you'll be paying is 4 USD. So buy 4 USD, sell 4 USD. Please note that this commission rate applies to all account types, regardless you are cash plus, margin, cash trading, or cash management. It will all be at 0.08%. Oh, and the promotion is till 31st December 2022. Okay, then next, these are pre-trading requirements. So for those who trade US frequently, you should know about the first 3 forms should be familiar. The W8 band form is for tax declaration. The risk warning statement is to acknowledge the risk of trading foreign listed shares. As for the third one, the customer account review is to qualify an individual to trade SIP products, which is mainly ETFs. So the last one is for letting clients know of the risk of trading hours that are out of the regular session. So please take a look at this form carefully because it states the risk of trading like irregular hours. So there will be such risks as lower liquidity and higher volatility. So please read these forms seriously. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Now I'll be going through the platform, the trading platform, how it will look like. When you log in the Poems 2, you will see multiple apps. Multiple tabs. Then there will be one tab which is US agent hours. You click on it, then you will see the dashboard. So it's quite neat to me. You can see all the 38 counters. You have to scroll down to see more. You have the bid and ask, buy and sell volume, and day, open price, high and low. So after which, if let's say you want to trade AMD, you click on AMD, then the panel here will appear. You key in the quantity that you like, password, and place your order. Then for Poems Mobile 3 is something similar. When you log in, you will see this green button. You click on it, and you will be shown this dashboard. So if you want to trade Apple, you tap on it and you key in the details like the quantity you want, the password. You click buy, then you will be shown the order status. Okay. Then next I'll be going through the benefits of US Asian hours. So the one of the benefits is the ability to like price in unexpected events. So this chart I'm using is to prove the point is I'll be using the S&P 500 futures. This S&P 500 future is closely followed to get a gauge of how the market is like out of regular hours. So one Asia news that came out on 7 June was that RBA, which is the Reserve Bank of Australia, they are the Australia's central bank. They did a rate hike they did a hike that is more than expected. So this caused the market to so-called have a slight dip. The reason being that they were afraid that other central banks may follow suit because RBA was one of the central banks that had the more aggressive stand. So they're afraid that the Federal Reserve, which is US Central Bank, they may follow suit and have a tighter monetary policy. So at this point in time, when investors see this plunge, they can do 2 things. One is either buy the shares because they think there's a discount, or secondly, they can sell because they are afraid that the bear sentiment may continue all the way to the pre-market and even to the regular trading session. So let's see what happens next. So yeah, US pre-market, you can see towards the opening of the US pre-market, it went up slightly, after which it came down. Then you look at the regular session, the market went up. So those who bought the dip should be in profits for that day. So the second example is the CPI News Release. So the CPI News Release, it was released on 13th of July. So this chart is shown here is for 14th of July. So on 13th of July, the US released their CPI, which is the inflation news, and it was higher than expected. They released it, the actual amount is 9.1%, and the estimate was 8.8%. So it was higher than expected, and the market that day didn't do that well. So the news spilled over to 14th of July, as you can see here. The FTSE 100 is the index that tracks London's top 100 largest company. So you can see on the London pre-market, it started dropping. It started dropping all the way down, and the S&P 500 futures follow suit. So you can see that there's a correlation between what's happening in London and the S&P 500. Thus, clients will be able to make use of US agent hours to actually take positions by when they know of such news. Another news that happened recently was yesterday, Alibaba. I did not prepare a slide because it was rather recent. Alibaba yesterday, they announced that they will be having a primary listing on Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So what this means is that those on the Chinese, those mainland Chinese will be able to have better access to Alibaba stock. So this gave an initial rise of 6% in Alibaba. So with that news, clients will be able to buy the US equivalent stock on our US Asian hours platform. Okay. Then next is the ability to leverage on the earnings released. Okay, so you can be using Tesla as an example. Tesla released their news at post-market, which is after market close, which is Singapore time 4 a.m. So most of us should probably be asleep because we have work or even school to attend the next day. So upon waking up and reading the news, you may see that Tesla earnings was better than expected. And if there's no US Asian hours, you must wait to pre-market in order to get your position on Tesla. But now with US Asian hours, you're able to get your hands on Tesla as early as 9 a.m. and ride the momentum up from pre-market all the way up to regular market. So in a sense, you may be able to price in the earnings earlier than the rest of the other market participants. Okay, so the third benefit of using this is that you can react to insider activities. So insiders, according to the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, they deem an insider to be the company's directors or those who own more than 10% of a company. So they are required by SEC to report whatever transactions they did on their share, be it buy or sell. And most of the reports come out after the trading, after market closes. So you can see here, over here, all the timestamps highlighted, they are all on Eastern time. So it's like Singapore, so it plus 12 hours. So it'll be 4 a.m., 7 a.m., 6 a.m., 5 a.m. So that's like after market close, US market close. Thus, this insider tool is very powerful because they can send a signal to us investors. For instance, if they were to buy, it means that the shares are undervalued and they have a bright outlook for the company. So if they sell, there is a poor outlook or the shares are overvalued. So during the post-market trading, it may not be totally priced in yet. Investors can make use of this to actually include this into their analysis and do some position taking. Okay, and the fourth point is the ability to gauge sentiment. Before the launch, we were not able to get a guess. We were not able to know what's the sentiment like for the upcoming trading session. We only have like the London market, Asia market, and the S&P futures to get a feel of how the market will be like. But now with US Asian hours, we have a better estimate because we have the price of 38 counters. And again, it's only 38 counters, so it's not a perfect gauge. So clients will need to take note of that. And the last point, which I feel is the most exciting one, is the ability to have a risk-free return, which is making use of this arbitrage opportunity. So a potential arbitrage opportunity exists when the price of an asset differs in two different markets, two or more markets. So for this case, will be the US Asian hours and the US pre-market. So as you can see here, there's a 1 hour overlap from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So the stocks will be selling at two different markets, which means there's a chance that the price may differ in these two markets. So let me go through with you guys an example that we found. Okay, on 21st of July 2022, we found out that a Tesla was selling at 744.05 on the US Asian hours, and we checked at the last done price for Tesla on the pre-market was 751.5. Yeah, so if you were to buy on the US Asian hours and sell on a pre-market immediately, you will be able to make a nice profit of $7.45 per share. So if you do 100 share, you will get $745. That's a risk-free return. Yep. So the second way to arbitrage is using dual listed stocks. So for now, we only have Alibaba. Alibaba is dual listed in both the New York Stock Exchange and the Hong Kong Exchange. So you can see they overlap from 9 a.m. to 4:10 p.m. And for the US stock, one of the US Alibaba stocks is equivalent to 8 shares of Alibaba Hong Kong share. So if let's say 8 of the Alibaba Hong Kong share price is higher than the Alibaba US price, they can do a short sale of 8 Alibaba Hong Kong share and purchase 1 share of Alibaba from the US Asian hours immediately. So after which they can convert the US Alibaba share to 8 shares of the Hong Kong Alibaba share to cover their short position. However, please note that the conversion will take a few days. So during that few days, if you shorted the Hong Kong Alibaba share, you incur some borrowing costs. So clients will need to take note of all the costs that they will incur, and please do calculate carefully before doing an arbitrage. Yep. Okay, so that's it for the benefits. Next, I'll be talking about some points for US Asian hours. So these are some points you have to take note. First is the minimum trading size. Minimum is $5,000. It used to be $20,000, but because of feedback, we decreased it to $5,000 to allow more people to make use of this platform. So if you were to enter an order that's less than $5,000, you will be greeted with this message. The order is less than USD $5,000. So you can see here, rejected. Okay, so that's the first point you have to take note. The second point is, yeah, like I mentioned, only market order. So you can see on the panel here, there's no field for you to put in a price. Yeah, you can only key in your quantity, your password, and place. Yeah, so if you have a price in mind and the price that is shown on the system is not your liking, you will have to monitor them. Okay, and the last point to take note is the wider bid and ask spread. Because of low liquidity, only those with access to volumes will be able to make use of this platform. So the market participants the amount of market participants is much lower as compared to those in the US regular hours. Thus, the spread will be wider. Okay, then lastly, I'll be going through some common FAQs. So what are the risks involved? Yeah, lower liquidity and higher volatility. Regarding this, please look at the risk disclosure statement, because there they will state all the risks involved in trading out of the regular hours. And second questions, Can I buy and sell in US Asian hours and US regular exchange? Yes, you can do it seamlessly. You can buy in US Asian hours and after that sell in the pre-market or US regular hours. You can do the opposite. Buy in US regular hours, sell in US Asian hours. No issue. But just take note of the minimum order size of 5,000 US dollar in for the US Asian hours. So third question, do I need to apply for live prices for US Asian hours? No, you don't have to. You don't need to apply for live prices. You only need two for the US pre-market and US regular hours. So the next one, can I trade during the US Asian hours on a public holiday in SG? Yes, you can. The US Asian hours will follow the calendar of the US. So if let's say US is having holiday, US Asian hours will be closed. SG is having holiday, but US is still open. Then US Asian hours will be open. The next question is the disclosure done once or every time you have to do it? So this disclosure is only done once, except for W8 band, which expires every 3 years. So you have to renew that. Yeah, the rest you only have to do it once. Okay, so that's it for me. Next, I'll pass on to Darrin. He'll go through with you guys some promotions we're having.
Okay, thank you, Zichuan. So we just want to take a short break in the webinar before we begin the Q&A session, and as well as the technical analysis session. So I'd just like to inform everyone that our new app, Poems Mobile 3, has just received a major update. You can get it on the App Store as well as the Google Play Store. And in addition to this, now there's also many various communities. So for example, if you're a US trader, we have earnings calendar, stock picks from our research team. If you trade just Singapore stocks, we also have Singapore equities research and a lot more other communities. More on that later. If you would like to download the app, which I highly encourage, you can scan the QR code now. I'll just give you a second. We also have a referral promotion. So every time you refer a friend to open a Poems account and they deposit $3,000 into the account within 7 days, we will credit $68 directly to your account. Additionally, your friend gets 1,000 Poems rewards points and 0 commission on UX stocks for 1 month. The link is in the chat for your reference. And lastly, to conclude this small little break, you can make us a part of your daily commute. Yeah, the daily morning note streams every morning at 8:30 a.m. on Spotify, and as well as on our YouTube channel at PhillipCapital. You can check it out on your way to work. And in addition to that, if you are in our Global Markets Telegram channel, which I'll show you later on, we will also start streaming it at 8:30 a.m. So you can just tune into the channel and you can just stream it while you're on your way to work. Get the latest market updates straight from our US dealing team. Okay, so let's now move on to the Q&A session. But before we move on to the Q&A session, I would like to just address some of the questions that have already been answered. So for US Asian hours, who will be the participants, global or just SG investors? So all Poems customers will be able to participate and execute orders in the US Asian hours trading. Another question, how is price discovery compared to normal trading hours? Okay, so Phillip Securities, we act as the principal for all the US Asia hours trades, and we will definitely try and endeavor to provide liquidity on a best effort basis. So as for the regular trading hours, they will generally have more participants as well as trading volume. Is there a reason why only 38 counters are allowed? So these 38 counters that we have chosen are among the most actively traded in the US markets. So over time, we will progressively add more and more counters into this new capability. Okay, for US Asian hours, can I buy in the morning and sell in the afternoon or at night? Okay, so US Asian hours, we can trade from Singapore time, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can trade anytime within this period of time. If you are talking about, if you're buying during the US Asia hours and then trading into the pre-market and the regular trading hours, yes, you can do that as well. Can I buy on Asian hours and contra on US market? Yes, you can buy during US Asia hours and contra off during the US pre-market and regular trading hours. You can do that. Where do we find the list of 38 counters? Oh, okay. So let me show you. So I'm just going to put down the website in the chat. So on our landing page on the Poems website, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll find a little section that says tradable counters. So you can find all the tradable counters over there. It's quite easy to find. Okay, where can I find more info? Yeah, okay. So you can refer to any of the questions pertaining to US Asian hours. We also have quite a comprehensive FAQ that is available on the landing page as well. So since this is a new initiative, we will also be constantly adding more and more things into it. How do I access US Asian hours? Yep, okay, so you can access only on Poems 2 web for the moment and the new Poems 3 mobile app.
One of them, okay, so there's one question asking about the risk involved during trading this. So as mentioned, the wider spreads and higher volatility because of the lesser number of market participants. So that's one thing clients have to take note of. Yeah. So is Phillip the market maker? We are acting as principal, so you'll be trading against us. Can I sell an existing stock on this platform that was bought from a different platform? Different platform you mean by different session, like US regular hours, then yes, but if you bought it from other different brokers, then you will have to transfer the shares in before you are able to sell on this platform. The commission wise, okay, commission wise for trading the US Asian hours is 0.08% regardless of your account type. And as for the US pre-market and regular hours, it'll be based on your account. So cash plus will be cash plus rate, cash management will be cash management rate. Oh, I see one question. Is there any difference between trading cash plus account and cash management account? No, for US Asian hours perspective, the trading for cash plus and cash management account will be the same. Yeah, the commission will be the same throughout all accounts, 0.08% until 31st December 2022.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Jie here. Okay, I'll be going through the technical analysis segment for this webinar. Okay, with me, we have Darrin as well. Okay, later he will go through part of the TA as well. Okay, but I will go through with the Q&A first. Okay, before that, right, I see on the Q&A there's a question. Are these high risk? Is it worth taking the risk as compared to the benefit highlighted? Okay, firstly, you have to, something to note is when because of the US Asian hours, right? Low liquidity, firstly, okay, because the market participants are not as many as the regular trading hours. All right, so you will have wider bid-ask spread. Okay, so it's better. I think a good way to leverage on this, to take advantage of these opportunities, is when there's like earnings release for the company or during like some data release. Okay, for example, there's FOMC this evening, tomorrow morning, which is 2 a.m. All right, so with that volatility coming in, I think it is a better way to take advantage of these US Asian trading hours. Okay, so those familiar with me doing TA webinar on Monday nights, okay, I will just go through AMD first. Okay, for now we will be looking at the daily chart. Then likewise, I will zoom into the hourly chart to illustrate some of the post-market movements. All right, or at least pre-market movements. Okay, so for AMD, currently price is sitting on a supply level. Okay, sitting very nicely in a range level now. Okay, past few weeks movements has been looking quite all right. Okay, coming back from a low of 82. Okay, and recent highs forming a new higher high. All right, with this new higher high form, with earnings coming out as well, as long as price can hold on to the level of 80, 81, okay, at this area here. Okay, hang on. Okay, this area here will act as a short-term demand level. All right, which is 80, 82 level. Okay, shown by this blue line over here. Okay, so let's jump into the extended hours. Okay, so what these additional candles are showing, right? They are basically just market closing at 4 a.m. Okay, this is a 4 a.m. candle. Okay, 3 a.m. open, 4 a.m. close. Okay, so this additional candles are the post-market and currently the pre-market session. Okay, so how this US trading hours, right? This US Asia trading hours, right, can help is in a way, if you are in a position right before the closing, okay, or you are in position way before that, then there's no earnings release, nothing else, and you are not very optimistic of how the movement will be like when the market is opening. All right, you can make use of this US trading Asia hours, right, to actually get out of your position before the market actually starts running. All right, but generally, I mean, TA wise for AMD, range bound for now. Okay, something good is there's a new higher high. So as long as they start forming a new higher low, we should be expecting price to push above 92. Okay. Okay, next one we will have Alphabet, Google. Okay, Google range bound. Okay, earnings released. All right. But movement wise, you see, from the chart itself, right, you can see that they closed at 105.02 last night. Sorry, this morning. Okay, then currently pre-market is showing at 109.15. Okay, they are already trading higher than yesterday's close. Okay, this movement came during the earnings period, as in the earnings release. All right, so there's volatility in Google for now. All right, so if you are looking for a movement for the rest of the week, right, as long as Google can continue printing bull candles, not breaking below the 104.07, okay, the low of this candle, we should be expecting Google attempting a 115, 120 very soon. Okay, but with that being said, just take note because we have FOMC as well. All right, volatility will definitely be around. Okay, so other than that, range bound until they start breaking away from the higher end of 115, 120, we are not expecting it to move anywhere else for now. Okay, I'll do Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft, if you are in the P3 community, right, you would have seen my post last night. Okay, pre-earnings, I was in the post itself, we were talking about 250, 252 being the demand level where price might move from after tapping into it last night. Okay, so as of now, pre-market is showing 259.37. As long as for the day they can be, I mean, if Microsoft is able to close bullish for the day, right, we should be expecting it moving towards a 270. Okay, but with that being said, just take note your downside because now any price movement breaking away from a 245, we will be looking at a short-term lower low. Okay, technically still range bound. Okay, but at least for the movement itself, they are creating new higher highs and new higher lows. All right, so with this movement, we are expecting it to expecting Microsoft to move higher from here. Okay, I will do one last one. Okay, then Darrin will be taking over with the Q and the TA for a few more. All right. Then the next one will be Visa. Okay, Visa, recent weeks has been moving quite nicely. All right. Currently they are stuck in this level of 218. Okay, they tap into 218 from previous supply level. All right, currently retracing downwards. Okay, this retrace, right, from what I'm looking at, as long as price continues to hold above a 205, 208 level, okay, this level over here, we should be expecting Visa to head higher towards a 225 level. Okay, but generally, Visa itself is still stuck in the major range. Okay, so breaking away from this more immediate supply level, right, like at this 220, generally, I mean, it just give it more momentum pushing higher. Okay, because this movement itself, this last leg of movement is actually coming off from a lower low. Okay, if you are looking at this whole major range itself, they are coming off from a high, hitting off a new, I mean, started this major range area, they had a new lower low. Okay, this movement is coming from a lower low. As long as they can create a new higher high, there should be some momentum shift in Visa. All right, but first criteria, of course, like I explained, price has to hold at 205, 206 level first. Okay, creating a new higher low, then attempting for a new higher high. All right, so with that, okay, Darrin, yeah, I will pass the time to Darrin for the rest of the TA portion. Okay, anything, hang on, let me just share a screen. Okay, if you still have any Q&A, right, for TA in general, feel free to scan the QR code or join the Telegram chat channel, the TA channel. Okay, then I'll go through the Q&A. I'll broadcast something, then you can just drop your counters or any technical questions. I'll reply from the Telegram channel itself. All right, then now I'll pass the time over to Darrin. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, so as with the US earnings that are coming up, tomorrow morning we will be having Meta. I haven't seen the chart yet, so give me a second. Okay, so for Meta, at present, tomorrow, okay, so indicator here, pre-market is already trading a little bit higher. Okay, so we're looking at a range that lasts from about here. Okay, so your first one, and we're moving off from an old resistance level. So currently for Meta, even though the pre-market is trading higher, at present it still seems to be in a bearish trend. There's no indication that it will reverse anytime soon yet. Let me take a look at the weekly. So right now we're coming out against a major support level. So not very indicative of whether you can take a buy or sell here, even though pre-market is trading slightly higher. So take advantage of the news later on for the US, for the price releases. Right now, at present, the only thing that we can see is that it's trading very, very hard within a range. The only indication is a smaller, slightly lower, higher high that is slowly entering into a new range. However, it is not indicative of any long-term bullish trend. Faqs earnings is later on as well. Okay, so first time I'm seeing this chart also. In my opinion, not completely an optimal entry if you're not completely an optimal turn yet. Currently breaking out of a very small range. Yeah, so overall, previous supports are still being broken. Downward trend is still being confirmed. I will not take a long-term buy into Ford at present because currently in this very, very small range, there is no indication that Ford will continue to climb upwards. So as with the previous two counters that even Ying mentioned, even though the pre-market is trading higher, you can leverage off of it slightly, maybe for a small little bit, but that constitutes a very risky trade. Let's see, Bank of America. Okay, overall bullish trend. Go down to the daily. Daily is currently sitting on small retracement value. Currently, two equal lows. Pre-market trades higher. Okay, so very similar to Meta and Ford. What we have here is a small retracement upwards, seemingly indicative of continuing its downward trend. So right now, the area that you're looking in would be this entire bit, okay, in your very short-term trading. Personally, I will wait for a breakout into a new range in order to, personally, I will wait for it to break out the range into a new range in order for me to either enter on a retracement or trade directly into a new range. Okay, so as Ying mentioned earlier, if you're interested more in his technical analysis, you can feel free to scan the QR code to join the Poems TA channel. You can also just, you can just scan the QR code and then enter. It's free, and Ying does quite regular TAs on that channel. We also do have TA webinars that take place on Mondays, so we'll post it up there. You can feel free to join. In addition, we'll be doing the counters that you were asking for, which means you basically tell us which counters you want to see. It will be live. Okay. In addition to that channel, we also have a Global Markets Telegram channel. So this is we basically have created a one-stop center. You want US earnings, promotions, market news, daily market news every morning. We also stream over there. You can join up into the GMD Telegram. I'm just going to put the link inside the chat. Okay, and moving on. Okay, so earlier on we talked about the Poems Tree community. Now I'd just like to touch a little bit on one of our colleagues. So basically we have an ETF community. So in addition to that, he also is going to host an ETF webinar. It's basically covering all the fundamentals of ETF. ETF might not be a familiar concept to a lot of people. So I'm going to put the link. You can register over there. It'll be this Friday. It'll be during lunchtime. You can have your lunch and listen over. It's basically going to cover everything that you need to know about the fundamentals of ETFs. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, so thank you for staying to the end of the webinar. So we do hope that we have managed to provide you the information you need in order to trade US Asian hours, as well as a little bit of insight through the technical analysis. If you have any further questions, okay, you can actually give us a call. Normally for Asian markets, you can call the day desk dealing. For the US markets and London markets, you can call the night desk dealing. Alternatively, you can just email to talktoGlobalMarkets@phillip.com. And we would also appreciate that if you could spare another few minutes, you fill out a small survey. It will help us greatly to improve. We're actually trying something new. Normally, Ying does all the TA. Today I thought I'd give it a shot. And in addition to some of the new things that we'll try and incorporate into our future webinars, we're also taking some suggestions. So you can either scan the QR code to fill out the survey, or you can just click the link in the chat. And yeah, so we've come to the end of the webinar. Thank you so much for staying. If you have any questions related to the US Asian hours, you can feel free to call us. You can email us in as well. We'd be very happy to assist you. And we hope that it's been a very fruitful evening for you as well. Thank you, and we'll see you next month.